Hi guys, it's Hannah and welcome back to another video. Now today's video is going to be my March book haul. Now I am filming this with a few days left in March. If I do buy anything between now and the start of April, it'll just go to April's haul. So this month I bought 17 books, 3 of which were comics and the rest were books. So these aren't in any particular order, so I'm just going to dive in. So top of the list we have A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth, and this was the Illumicrate book, I want to say. It's either, yeah, I think it was the Illumicrate book for this month, and this follows 4 queer teens who each hold a key piece of the truth behind these murders that are happening in Toronto. This is set as The Cruel Prince meets City of Bones. It's a thrilling urban fantasy. So yeah, but I haven't heard too much about this, but I do like this cover. She has dragon wings. And Sean was saying that she looks a bit like Ciri from The Witcher, and yeah, I see it. So yep, we have that one. It is signed. It is signed, and it did come with the author letter and this really cute little art print that I'll probably use as a bookmark when I read the book. Then I have, yes, I caved. Who is she? She's buying romance. But I bought the Duke and I, which is the first book in the Bridgerton series by Julia Quinn. I'll admit, I have seen the show. I do want to rewatch it, but this follows Daphne Bridgerton, who is lovely but almost on the shelf. So obviously this is Regency romance where girls were married off by a certain age for political and personal power. But this has some beautiful fake dating, which we all appreciate. Simon, who is the Duke, doesn't want to get married, but Daphne, who is the oldest of 7 or 8, she's the first daughter. She's either the third oldest or she's the oldest daughter, and I think she's the third oldest of all the siblings. She wants to get married. She wants a family. She feels like she has to get married. So Daphne and Simon, Simon is a friend of the family anyway, they arrange a fake dating trope arrangement. So we all know where that's going to end up, but the logic behind it is, if Daphne is seen to be desirable by the Duke, everybody is going to want to court her, want to get to know her, want to marry her, and it keeps and what Simon gets out of it is that it keeps everybody off his back. Now I do know that some of it is probably a little bit problematic. I know there's a scene in the show that's problematic, so we'll just go into this one, having a good old fun time. Then we have The Sky Weaver by Kristen Cicerelli, which is the final book in her Last Namsara companion series. Now I'm not going to talk too much about this one because I haven't read the first 2 yet. Bad Hannah. But from what I understand it, the Last Namsara is the story of this girl who has to kill a dragon, or is told that she has to kill the dragon but doesn't want to, and it goes from there. But this gives me Captain Hook vibes. Is it giving anybody else Captain Hook vibes? I think it's because it's obviously got it's fairy tale. These covers are gorgeous. It's fairy tale and we have a hook. Captain Hook. And then we have the sequel to A Discovery of Witches, which I haven't read yet either. But this is Shadow of Night by Deborah Harkness. I'm not going to go too much into this one. No, I'm filming! I'm filming! No, filming. So yeah, this is the sequel to A Discovery of Witches, which I haven't read yet, which follows an witch archivist and a vampire who works in her university. Forbidden love, they felt. Forbidden love, things happen. This is what I gather from the first book, so this is obviously a continuation. And we have A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. This is the story of Pippa who takes on a extra credit A-levels project and tries to discover the real murderer for schoolgirl Andy Bell, which is a closed case that happened 5 years ago. Everybody knows that it was Sal Singh that did it, but Pippa's not so sure, so she's going to investigate that. And we have The House with Chicken Legs by Sophie Anderson. Don't really know about this one, but Baba Yaga. And I know Jade from JD Ray Reads really appreciates Sophie Anderson's writing. And I have read The Castle of Tangled Magic and did enjoy that. So this seems to follow the story of Marinka, who is whose grandmother is Baba Yaga, who has a house with chicken legs, which is one of those myths that I absolutely love. And we have The Shadow War by Lindsay Smith. This is the Book Box Club's book of the month for March. And this follows 5 teens who are trying to make a mark for themselves in World War II. They have all been hurt by some way in the Nazis and end up in the forests of Germany to try and stop the Nazis from finding and controlling these shadow realm demons. This is giving me Shadowhunters vibes. I think it's because it's obviously a shadow world, and we know Cassie does shadow demons so well. But yep, there's that one. We have The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse by Charlie Mckessie, and I've heard that this is just like a little bit of a hug. It's just beautiful. It's written and in handwriting text, so it's all done watercolory, and it's like little illustrations and nuggets of advice that you may not have realised that you needed to hear until you've heard them. I've heard that this is going to make people cry. Then we have The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osmond, a bit of a cozy thriller. 4 friends meet up once a week to investigate unsolved murders in this sleepy retirement village. They're all pushing 80, but then they find themselves in the middle of the first live case when a brutal killing takes place. Now, I haven't heard much about this one anyway, but I do like Richard Osmond. I think he's quite funny. We'll do the comics last. We have this little beauty. This is obviously a Fairy Loot edition, but it is the Fairy Loot edition for A Chain of Iron, and it is absolutely stunning with the yellow hedges. There's no synopsis, but obviously this is the second book in her new trilogy series within the Shadowhunters world, which is The Last Hours, starting with Chain of Gold, which follows the kids of Will and Tessa, Gideon, Gabriel, Sophie, and possibly Tatiana from the Infernal Devices. I would recommend picking up the Infernal Devices before you pick up this series, because you are just sort of dumped in it, and there is a lot of it's not info dumpy as such, but there is a lot of information going on. So obviously I'm not going to go too much into this because there are people who haven't read Chain of Gold yet, and I don't want to spoil anything for them. And obviously this is a sequel, so I don't want to spoil anything for me. Then we have, yes, I caved. I have books 1, 2, 3 and the novella for A Court of Thorns and Roses. I need to play them. I've got no idea where I'm going to put this box, or if they're going to stay in the box when I shelve it. But yeah, this is obviously a booktube darling, a bit of a hyped book that's going around, especially with the release of A Court of Silver Flames, which I do hope to get, but I'm going to read the first 4 first, which makes sense because anyway. But this A Court of Thorns and Roses series seems to follow the story of Feyre, who is a hunter who ends up killing a wolf in the forest, who turns out to be a Fey in disguise, that the Fey's family or someone ends up taking Feyre into the Fey court as punishment, and I've heard that Resend is, but we'll see. And these are all by Sarah J. Maas. Then we have some comics. I have volume 5 of Monstress by Marjorie Liu and Sana Takeka. Never sure if I'm saying that right. But yeah, this follows the story of Maker, who is half human, half wolf, and has a monster inside of her who is slowly consuming everything about her, while in the middle of a war for control between these scary-ass nuns and the animalistic creatures and everyday humans who are just caught up in the middle of it. But we have talking cats as well, and the art in this is just, there's some pictures in this that I probably can't show on camera, but I do want to just frame. See, I do want to frame that. But then we have the next 2 volumes of The Wicked and the Divine by quite a few people. Karen Gillan, Jamie McKelvey, Matthew Wilson, and someone with the surname of Cowles. But we have volume 4, which is Rising Action, and volume 5, which is Imperial Phase Part 1. So these are a reincarnation storyline. Every 90 years, 12 gods return as young people. They are loved, they are hated. In 2 years, they are all dead. It's happening now, it's happening again. So I have been reading these slowly, but just put them on the pile. But from what I can remember, the story all kicks off when the personification of Lucifer, the devil, who in this one is female, is killed or murdered, and it starts off the Pantheon cycle again, which has everybody very worried, because there seems to be something different about this cycle. Some of the older gods who have been, where's my remote? There it is. Some of the older gods who haven't had a cycle, haven't been seen in a while, seem to be coming back, and Morrigan is scary, but she's brilliant. But yep, that's the 17 books that I bought this month. Let me know if there's anything on this list that you've bought or you're excited for, and let me know what some of the purchases that you've made this month are, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!